The poet Eleanor Russell wrote, "Keep watering yourself, you're growing." To me, her words evoke the image of a grand oak tree, the bark wrinkled and scarred with age, and the roots deep and strong, while the branches are a canopy of beautiful, lush foliage reaching higher and higher as it grows. The story I'm about to share with you is the ever evolving narrative of my life. This is the growth of my tree. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Caprina, and I'm going to take you on a trip through my past. I will share with you how I grew up, the struggles I faced, and where my life is today. This little sapling started growing up right here in sunny Florida. My parents, they're both naval corpsmen, and were working to save lives at the emergency department of NAS Jax, Naval Air Station Jacksonville. They fell fast and hard in love with each other. Now, my brother sprouted 3 years before me, and I always looked up to him. He was my big brother. He's the protector who chased away the bullies and the monsters, and the boys who tried to kiss me on the playground. Now, with our parents being in the military a lot, and we moved a lot, like a lot. So he was my best friend. Those moves were hard and rewarding. We were blessed to have opportunities to learn about many cultures, customs, and histories that helped shape our country. From one side of the U.S. to the other, no matter where we went, Florida was always home. We were never financially wealthy, but our family was rich, with love and traditions, a beautiful mix of Spanish heritage and deep Southern roots. Every meal at my grandmother's house was a family reunion. Family and friends would squish around a small table that was filled with mouth-watering foods and an abundance of memories being shared. The aromas and the stories will linger on the edge of my memories forever. Everyone has struggles to overcome throughout life, and I'm no exception. Moving around meant that I was often the new kid in town. It was challenging to overcome, to start over. To make new friends isn't easy. Compound that with a speech impediment and obesity, and I became a punchline to many a child's jokes. I was tortured all my life about my weight, the way I spoke, the way I developed somewhat too quickly. And I'm sure we all know people can be cruel, especially children. This also taught me that sometimes we must go through things like this to grow and understand what friendship and love really is. To jump ahead a few years, we finally moved back to Florida, where my father retired. I was a junior in high school, but because we moved mid-year, the new school would not accept my other school's credits. I was not going to graduate on time. I became really angry and rebellious. I dropped out of high school shortly after I turned 18. My boyfriend and I conceived, even though we thought we were taking the right precautions. The moment I found out I was going to be a mommy, my entire life changed. I had to finish high school before he was born. I wanted to set the right example for him. I graduated 2 months before he was born. He was actually with me when I walked down the aisle to receive my diploma, 3 weeks after he was born. At that point, I knew college was a pipe dream. Instead of taking college classes or going out with friends, I spent my day going to work, attending his concerts, plays, award ceremonies, and teacher conferences. I was doing the best I could to raise a young man being a single mother. I married my first husband in 2003, but shortly after we married, he was diagnosed with end-stage renal failure. On top of raising my son, I was now a full-time caregiver for my sweet husband. That same year, my grandmother's health also took a turn, and I started helping my parents care for her. In 2013, I lost my grandmother and my husband. 2 years later, my mom's health started to fail. I started assisting my father with her caregiving until she tragically passed away in 2018. And in 2020, we all faced the pandemic, but for me, it was also the year I lost my father. Due to complications from surgery, the bleeding from COVID, the strange bleeding. Those were some of the darkest years of my life. I didn't think the sun would ever shine again. My tree was really struggling and shriveled from sorrow and grief. So, after all those challenges, where am I now? Well, years of recovering have passed, and the sun started to shine again. My son has grown into a kind, respectful, and intelligent young man. I was married to an amazing man who is really too good to be true. We just celebrated 8 years together and our 1 year wedding anniversary. Our home is paid off, and we're surrounded with the love of family and friends. And I am finally back in college. My grades are great, and I'm well on my way towards my associate in science degree in paralegal studies. There are a few bumps here and there, but my tree is happy and thriving. Thank you for coming on this journey with me through my growth, struggles, to where I am now. I'm honored to be able to share this with you. Just like those grand oaks, I'm still growing. I'm learning and nurturing myself, both honoring my past and moving forward as the best version of myself that I can be. And I hope you will remember to nourish your own tree. Never stop learning. Stay grounded and take time to care for yourself. If you can't help another person if you're not taking care of yourself. Now I'm leaving you with a quote that really speaks to me. It's by A.D. Posey. To exist as a tree is to have a purpose beyond our own lives, a legacy we leave for the world. Thank you.